corporate America is bullshit, and we like tequila shots just as much as you do. Early in my HR career, I was asked to lead and design an executive leadership development program with zero experience or executive presence. As you can guess, I was in way over my head. They gave me $1 million budget and pretty much just told me to meet the key objective, which was to ensure the leaders graduated with ability to entertain people, i.e. sell products to clients and suppliers. Basically, they wanted me to take $1 million and teach these guys how to wine and dine people. At that point in my life, the only wining and dining I had done was ordering Taco Bell at 2 a.m. in the backseat of my bestie's car with a vodka cranberry that I'd stolen from the bar, glass and all. Imposter syndrome was hella real at the time. After 3 days of facilitating intensive leadership classes and organizing social activities in fancy restaurants, I could tell the participants, 19 middle-aged males, were bored and were gaining nothing from the experience. They knew I had no business being in this role. Honestly, I felt defeated and convinced that I was a fraud and decided girl bossing just wasn't in the cards for me. On the fourth evening, conversation was dying. These men couldn't sell water to a camel. Clearly, no one gave a shit about which fork they were supposed to use throughout their meal. So I said, fuck it. Threw my Amex at the server, told the gentlemen to go back to their hotels, change into casual clothes, and meet me at the pub in an hour for a nightcap. While the guys were headed back, I went to the pub and ordered 4 rounds of tequila shots for each participant, 76 total, and had them placed in 4 lines. After that, I gave each of the female bartenders $100 and told them to flirt heavily with my boys. I handed a $100 bill to some college kid and told him his only job was to ensure good music was coming from that jukebox. Literally zero fucks given at this point. If I was going out, we were at least gonna have some fun on the company dime. I wish I had a video of the men's faces when they came back into that pub and I shouted, "School's out of session, drink up, bitches." The next morning, I woke up curled up in a fetal position outside my hotel room, and multiple towels covering me up, a pillow, a trash can, and a bottle of water. And I had no idea how I'd gotten there or what had happened after that 4th round of tequila shots. But there were multiple stamps on my hand, so the night clearly did not end at the pub. When I fumbled into my room and checked my phone, I realized it was an hour past when classes were supposed to start. I was definitely getting fired now. I grabbed my bag and ran to the conference room, hoping that drunk me had canceled classes the night before and everyone else was still sleeping. Nope. Opened the door of the training room, shaking in fear and completely mortified that I was still in the clothes from last night, with a stamp impression on my forehead. Every single person was there, fully dressed, already engaged in the content for the day. The teacher stopped teaching and everyone turned to stare at me standing in the door, clearly still intoxicated. The next 45 seconds of my life changed my brain chemistry. As I walked to my seat, everyone started standing and clapping. First slowly, then faster and faster until I was getting a standing ovation. They were still whooping and cheering when I silently nodded at the professor to continue teaching. When I returned to the office the next week, I fully expected to be terminated and I was ready to accept my fate. But before even asking me how the week went, my boss congratulated me for pulling off the first ever successful program. She said that over the weekend, every single leader had sent a kudos email to not only her, but also the CEO. They asked me if their teams could attend in the future and that I was getting a bigger budget. To this day, nobody ever talked about the events that transpired that weekend. Somehow, the black hole in my memory was the cheat code for entry into the good old boys club. And from that moment forward, I was treated like a celebrity leader in that company and had unlimited potential for upward mobility. If you ask me what the most embarrassing moment of my professional career, it is knowing that 19 executives stepped over my body in the hallway of a hotel to get to a training that I was responsible for coordinating. But if you ask me what the biggest accomplishment of my professional career is, it is successfully designing and facilitating a leadership development program that resulted in a 40% increase in the retention of high potential leaders and a 15% increase in new customer acquisition in just 1 year. I told you, corporate America is bullshit. We're just winging it. You do you, boo.